You're listening to Moonhawk Studios Presents.
All right, everybody. Oh, my cat just died in my room tonight. Welcome to another episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents. I'm your host, who can barely see right now, Mac Paladin. And with me in the studio, but not literally, thank God for him, is my good friend Adam.
This is just gonna run through the introductions, isn't it?
Something just ran through my cat, okay? So you're just going to have to deal with it until I can deal with it.
Noted.
All right. We also have Petty Fan in the house.
Yo.
We got the Golics
Hello.
eating popcorn, so he's got on tape delay. Twilight Winter's kicking around here somewhere.
Yo.
We got the Elemental Ogre.
Yellow.
And joining us again, but we can't tell why, Sobe. No, kidding.
I'm raising my hand. You just can't see it.
All right. Well, aside from my cat dying in close proximity to my office, we got a great show for you tonight. We have the inimitable Jesse Cox, YouTuber extraordinaire, assuming he can get through his technical difficulties before he get through the news. With that in mind, Adam, why don't you lead the way?
It's our typical idiom.
Murphy's Law hates us?
Now that's Milo Murphy's Law.
Ah.
Anyway, news. Not much this week. As I mentioned on Fragments, kind of singed my hand with dinner. Molten chili and your raw hand is not a good combination.
As long as it's not a raw hand and molten, molten. I got nothing.
Yeah. Thankfully, no
raw chili and molten hand. That's what I was trying to say. God damn, I'm tired.
My favorite food story mishap was from Molten Brown on Good Eats, where he was talking about when you're cutting a jalapeno, always wear gloves because the oils will stay on your hands forever. And he learned that out the hard way when he was cutting a jalapeno, got the oil on his hands, and then put his contact lenses in.
Oh,
God.
No.
Did he take...
I think he learned the hard way that gloves are probably the best way to handle jalapenos raw, so...
Yeah, I'm like, oh...
That's definitely one of the most painful things.
Yeah, well,
Did
considering
I just see someone munch on a jalapeno?
No, it's probably Golux still on his popcorn.
Considering half the cast here kind of winced when I finished that whole thing, yeah, it was probably really painful.
I don't think words could properly describe what he must have felt there.
Well, I remember the cutaway was cutting out the outside of his house, and you just hear, ah!
And if you're just joining us, this is Tangents of Moonhawk.
Yeah, back to Ad.
Because of course it is.
Well, we do have time to kill, so.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Adam, did you cover everything?
Got a haircut today.
Exciting.
I'm like, I feel better. Like it's getting to be summer here, so
oddly lighter.
yeah. No, I feel cooler. Like
there you go.
Yeah, it's like I can go outside without sweating profusely.
There you go.
It's
Alrighty.
like so, and that's about it for me.
Let's do Ogre since Ogre chimed in.
Not much happening lately. I got my glasses adjusted, thankfully. I thought part of it was kind of breaking for some reason, but it turns out that's just the natural way the glasses kind of flex around, though did open it up a bit so it's not tight, so tight on the temples. which has really, really helped out a lot, surprisingly. Not like it hurt, but it was one of those like, wow, this feels a whole lot better all of a sudden. Let me see. Recordings are going fine. We're slowly inching closer to the end. Still kind of amazes me how much longer this game is than I thought it would be. Really underestimated color splash. Other than that, it's just apparently the free company in Final Fantasy XIV is happy that I'm expressing interest in raids and knock poor Petty down to DPS for the next time around. Well, at least you get Samurai and Red Mage.
Yeah, I have no interest in Red Mage.
Well, Samurai then.
All right.
Let me see. Oh, and Monday and Tuesday the servers go down because they're moving them to new. What is it? New building to house more servers.
Yeah, basically, as they put an undisclosed location, but we'll probably figure it out in like literally a day after it goes live.
Well, they're moving it to get the servers bigger because they kind of figured that, hey, new expansion, probably new people. We should probably expand the servers. So
well, and also better infrastructure, because where they're at now, I think it's not very preferable to the West Coast.
Yeah, it also helped to accommodate all the changes in Stormblood, because one of the things I remember them mentioning was item storage is only as small as it is because the servers can only be so big.
Mm.
So, and since they're expanding that come Stormblood, hey, there you go. So, probably catch up on TV and games at that time, because what else am I going to do? Go outside and be a productive member of society. What society?
What season is this? Construction or winter?
Yeah, there are already cones up, so it is construction. It's Ohio. We have winter, or as it's known now, spring 0.0, and construction. So,
all right.
That's about it from me.
Okay. Well, since she's up on the totem pole here, let's give Sobe a chance.
You said she. I automatically knew it was me.
Well, I could have been talking about Petty Fan, but
Eat a dick,
Yeah.
Mac.
well, you know, that seems to be the theme of the show. All right, Sobe, your turn.
Yay. Is this the part where I talk about my week?
Sure.
Well, not much happened this week. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of interesting things to talk about, but right before I joined this call, I was telling you guys I was on the phone with a credit card company, and it was Bob, and Bob just really made my day. I'm making a gag face right now. You just can't see it.
Now, people in India can be named Bob. The British were in charge there for many years.
That's true. Highly doubt it, but you could be onto something. Either way, Bob and I did not hang up on good terms. I hope that Bob still has a job. It's okay.
Oh man.
But
that's
guess what? I'm super excited for this show. I'm excited to have Jesse on the show today. And I know that he was having issues with his computer, and it's probably loading, and I feel like he's singing a song, and I feel disappointed that I can't hear it right now. We may need him to like reenact this when he gets back on.
Nice. All right. Okay. Well, let's get Pity Fan up in here.
Well, I had to order a new heating element for the oven we've had for years because it finally broke. So hopefully it's an easy fix.
Like, have you ever fixed an oven before?
Nope.
Good luck with that, then.
Luckily, it's an electric oven and not gas, so hopefully I shouldn't burn the house down.
Right.
Daddy,
So
you
so
shouldn't be sleeping in the oven like that.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty
you
much.
probably won't explode this way, but that doesn't mean it's
I-
going to be easy to fix.
I feel like there's a joke here about witches and gingerbread houses. I'll tell you what about trying to fix your own stove. I was just trying to put new drip plates on mine, and I was like, well, they don't have the right ones, so I'll just get these ones with these kind of holes cut in them, and then I'll stick it. I'll just take the burners off. Oh wait, I have to dismantle the entire top of the stove to remove the burners. Never mind. And that was just the top. So now everybody's excited to know my experience with feebly attempting to repair my stove.
But yeah, other than that, I got a couple new video games. I got some game called Chrono Trigger. I doubt anybody here's ever heard of that.
Blasphemy.
And don't worry, it's a DS version, because I'm not stupid.
What?
I don't think there is a bad version of that aside from maybe the PlayStation version.
Yeah, that's
Only
what I
because
was...
the music blows.
Also load
Well,
times.
not that, and also, well, the PlayStation one have terrible, terrible load times?
I think terrible might actually be an understatement.
Yeah, but I mean, are we talking like, oh, I don't know, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldan load times, or what?
I know they were pretty damn long.
That was the one that
Because-
came on a disc with Final Fantasy VI, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it
Yeah,
later
if I
got a
recall correctly,
standalone
that has some-
release.
For
Yeah,
those
if I
of you who
recall
don't,
correctly, that has a reputation for having some of the worst load times.
that and I want to say there was a shooter like that, like what was it, Elemental Gearbolt or something had really terrible load times.
I think that was Gradius 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, for those of you youngins in the audience who don't know the Sega Saturn, go look it up first. But second of all, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldan, every single random battle in the field resulted in an approximately 3-minute load time.
Damn.
That sounds unplayable.
Yeah, and then the screen would pop up. So after the first 60 seconds, the screen would pop up and the characters would be bouncing back and forth in their little pre-fight animation, and it would just sit there like that for 60 to 90 more seconds. And this is after Working Designs dismantled the game and improved the load times off of the Japanese original.
Jesus.
Improved.
So, I tried, it's like, oh, I'll just play 10 minutes of Albert Odyssey. Oh, shoot, I got into a battle. Well, guess I'll go to work.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that on pause.
Yeah, when it's easier to leave a game on pause than turn it off.
Right. Well, and the boot up time of the game itself was pretty atrocious. You'd sit there and it would go. Very exciting stuff. Anyway, Petty Fan, you got any more news?
I also got Nier Automata with birthday money. So yay. Other than that, just been kind of waiting to see the doctor about what they're gonna do about my knee. That's not gonna be fun, I can already tell.
Better look for that PlayStation 4 version of Final Fantasy 14 pretty soon.
Yeah.
Or are they shutting off the PS3 version?
Oh,
Yeah.
they shut that off. Like, they're shutting that off for Stormblood, so...
Yeah, it's
Now, will that
turning...
be connected to the same account, or do you need to start from scratch?
Same account, but I won't have any of my, layout stuff, so I'd have to basically redo all of that. But, all of my progress and stuff will just carry over.
Also, playing on the controller is kind of weird.
Oh, no, I'm not playing on a controller. I'm getting a wireless mouse and keyboard. I ain't stupid.
That's a smart boy. An MMO on a controller? Are you crazy?
Yeah. I might have been born at night, but it sure in hell wasn't last night.
Woo, that was a good one.
That was good. It wasn't as good as the balance thing earlier, but only I and Twilight would get that. So
Yeah.
Nice.
He threw it on himself. God, he must have been kicking himself for a while.
Oh, he sounded like he was about to cry, but yeah.
Listen, I'm just happy he's not as bad as Seabass. Everybody gets spear except for the monk. Whoosh.
Well, to be fair, that was intentional.
I know.
Elks was not. Aside from that, nothing else I can think of.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll give it to the Funny Hat Brigade. Golix, what's cooking? Apparently no longer popcorn.
Yeah,
Try
I
press-
do still have popcorn, but yeah.
I was just about to say, try pressing the button.
Sorry, I think I had it unmuted and then I hit mute right when you said something because I was trying
And
to
you're
talk.
just like,
Oh,
doo.
sorry. Anyway, the weather has been particularly lame. Not really like bad or anything, but I almost wish it would just rain more and get it over with, rather than just kind of being cloudy and threatening rain constantly. So I have no energy.
I'm just imagining the clouds having faces from like Super Mario Brothers 3. Just going, "Rrr. Just do it, you assholes.
And this is the week that I have to get up a little earlier several times, so that's been slightly challenging, but I've been managing. Not too much interesting on the video game front, although I did finally beat the last of the 4 Sacred Beasts in Breath of the Wild last night. So now I only have to get the rest of the shrines and maybe get enough Korok seeds to fill out my inventory spaces. I'm not getting all of them. I'm not that dedicated before I can beat the game and call it beat for now.
Until DLC.
Till DLC.
So,
By which point I might also have the Switch version, but we'll see.
so I
You
just
get
watched
to do it all over again.
Speaking of Breath of the Wild, I just watched Angry Joe's review of it, and apparently he had a lot of difficulty with takedowns from
Sounds
Nintendo.
like-
Oh yeah,
That's a
Strike
thing?
take that. Yes.
Why are they going after people who are reviewing Breath of the Wild?
I don't know.
Because that's what they do.
Unfortunately.
Some people were like, "Where's the fair use?" And I'm like, "Gosh, I got to unpack that statement for you." Okay, there is no such thing as fair use in Japan.
Yep.
The end.
Mhm.
They don't
I
have
don't,
a
I've
concept
seen a lot
of
of
it.
people doing Let's Plays of it that aren't having any problems.
Well,
Yeah,
they
but-
might be having they're either in Nintendo's program thing, or they just are getting it monetized by Nintendo.
Yeah, it looked like Angry Joe's review was completely non-monetized. Like, aside from the opening ad that YouTube mandates, there was no ads throughout, and there was no ad at the end. And he had to flip the screen around and then drop the resolution and to even show any of the gameplay.
Weird.
Yeah. I've seen that thing where people upload new anime and stuff like that, and they have it like pixelated, and then the sound is skewed on purpose to fool the robot, so it's got like that.
Yeah, or
kind of-
mirror it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is-
It is true that Japan doesn't have fair use, though. They have completely different copyright laws that are like narrower but stricter.
Right. And then but you know, it's like you hear that age-old cry from the Akihabara district where they're all like, "But what about the Jinshin? They let that go." And it's like, yeah, because they have this bizarre symbiotic relationship with their parody artists.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for some
Anyway.
reason, any review that doesn't fit with the family-friendly image of Nintendo, and you know, no offense, but cross-dressing and massive F-bombs are not exactly family-friendly.
Well, there's a little bit of cross-dressing in the actual game, so
I'm aware of that, but it's okay. Remember the hypocritical oath. You know,
Mhm.
do as I say, not as I do.
I guess I haven't watched many full proper reviews of it, though I've watched a lot of videos talking about the game.
Well, you see, Angry Joe had a BSOD in the middle of it when his Switch crapped out in the middle of right after a major battle.
Yeah, that would be a hardware issue.
That's probably why I'm going to get it on the Wii U, which is the hardware it was designed for in the first place.
Yeah, I'm playing on the Wii U. I have had absolutely no problems with it on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's porting issues every time.
Well, in the Switch, you have to be careful about battery life and stuff. And I guess there's a manufacturer's issue with some of the left Joy-Cons. And also generally with the Joy-Cons being bad at communicating if there are obstacles between them and the system. So,
Betty, where is our guest?
He's currently still offline.
Shoot him an email.
Yeah, seriously. This is I hate to be a snit, but this
you can
person
only stall
streams
for so long.
Yeah, this person streams videos for a living.
I'm aware.
All right. Sorry. Anyway, let's get Twilight up on the stage here, and then I'll talk for a little bit.
Well, I'm afraid I don't really have much to talk about this week. Weather's been good, although it's been raining a lot. And work's been good. Otherwise, I've been playing games for Fragments for the Sunday reviews, and that's about it.
Great stall there, buddy. Great stall.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Way to chew up that clock, boss.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. As Sobe pointed out last week, we're dicks.
That was last week.
Nothing's
This
changed.
Nothing's changed, except this week we're much, much worse. All right, well, I'll try to fill the void here. I'm actually watching on Keith's Picardo stream right now. He's currently streaming the final phases of construction for the Starship Moonhawk 3D model. He has all of the major components done except for the bridge module. So I'm very excited about this because it means that we will actually have a functional shooting model of the ship for future films. And we'll be using the 3D render in the webcomic going forward. So once the current storyline is done, we will actually start using the 3D model instead of stock and or newly hand-drawn images, which will solve...
Was that with shaders or whatever to make it look 2D, or?
We're going to see how it looks, because the rest of the comic is 2D, so we don't want it to look too ridiculous.
Yeah,
but,
blatant 3D can work, but it has to be in the right context.
We might end up looking a little bit like, I don't know if you guys remember this comic, but Nathaniel Savio used to do a comic. Wait a minute, that Savio co-created it, but it's called Angels 2200. It had let's see if it's still updating.
Rings a bell.
Well, it looks like the same artist is here. Peter Haynes, that's who's currently running it. But Peter Haynes and Nathaniel Savio created a comic called Angels 2200 that has hand-drawn characters and scenery, but 3D spaceships and fighter craft. So it's kind of cool. And it looks like it ended in 2014. That's a bummer.
Well, it'll especially be important if you don't have 3D models for other ships that it's going to be interacting with.
Well, as we get more eyes on the project and a bigger budget, we can commission more of them. Until then, there is a cool thing that Keith is doing, and that is that he's made functional overhead doors for the front end of the ship. Because there's a big secret as to what's actually parked inside that hangar. That will be revealed in a future episode.
Is it an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile?
Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, get out. Nathan Bonner has turned in more segments from Scene 2, and we're still waiting for a couple more voice actors to get things going. But we're getting ready to actually do the final construction phases of Act 1 of the Mercadian Affair. And it's a doozy, I'll tell you. A lot more complicated than the teaser opener. But what's interesting is using the techniques that we used on the teaser act, we've actually moved a lot faster and covered much more material in a shorter space of time. I would say in about 3 weeks' time, we put together 4 times as much footage. So I'm pretty impressed with how things are going. I got to ride roughshod over one of our team members who's a little slow on the optical effects. We'll see where that leads. But I heard there were some technical problems that were keeping that from becoming a reality. So I will keep you all posted on that. So because I'd like to actually put together a rough cut of it and do some preview clips to start generating buzz for the initial release. All right, Petty Fan, what's the word?
I have received nothing.
All right then. Well, everybody did research for nothing because it looks like we have no guest.
I'm sorry. Not my fault he's having internet issues.
He just didn't want to talk to us.
I don't think it's that, at least.
I think he's a good enough guy to tell us straight up if he didn't want to talk.
Yeah. I think he's, like, legitimately having issues. I mean, worst case, we can always try and reschedule.
Petty Fan, you're 0 for 1, buddy.
Hey, I've got as a guest on. Bite me.
I know. I'm just teasing. Okay, you're 1 and 1. That's true. Drac and Seabass were pretty epic.
Yeah.
But now Sobe is disappointed. She's
I'm not disappointed. Wait, hold on. Okay, I was making sure that I wasn't on mute. I wasn't.
So if you
But
were on
yeah,
mute,
no.
you would have been talking to
Yeah.
yourself?
No. Well, the last time that this happened, I've learned to put myself on mute when I'm scrolling through Facebook, because I was looking for content for something that we were talking about, and a video populated, and all of a sudden it started meowing, or at least I thought it was meowing, but it was somebody's cat, and I think it was Max, and so I was mortified, and I learned to put myself on mute because of that.
I have
But
video
that
of
won't
my
happen.
cat.
Welcome to the Put Yourself on Mute Club.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I have video of my cat that has sound.
You have video of your cat? What?
That has sound.
No, you have an actual cat that sometimes meows and it gets heard by your microphone.
Got him. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's a real cat. We
Yeah.
heard about it.
It's allegedly a real cat. Matt could also have just gone insane.
It would be a short trip.
Very short.
Here's Doodles right now. Nope, she's decided to go sit in the cat bed. She's like, wait, you said my name.
Still
Doodles, come
think
here.
it is a myth.
Well, the funny thing is that since we're using Skype, I can actually turn on my webcam and show you my cat. Come here, Doodles.
You could, but I have a strict policy of not looking at porn on Skype.
God, dude, it's not that kind of pussy.
But
God.
This is starting to turn up late with Mace, isn't it?
There we go. Oh, it won't let me turn on my camera. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
There's my
God.
kitty. Ow! Ugh. She's very mad right now. There's Doodles. Go ahead and put it up on the stream so that way everybody can see.
That's going to... I'm going to need a minute for that, because I don't know how the hell to do this.
She looks a lot like my GM's cat, Barnaby.
I'm holding her in a weird way because this kind of immobilizes her so she doesn't attack me. But I was trying to get her in view of the camera there. There's Doodles. She's not a myth. She's no, that wouldn't make any sense. No one would get the joke.
Well, considering that everything, I'm pretty sure that everything about west of the Sierra Nevada is fake.
You get to look at Cattail. Don't get excited.
There.
There I am on my own show. Hello, everybody.
No, quit moving that. I want that.
The face behind the mask.
I know, it's crazy. I'm wearing my, I don't know, do I work at Toys R Us? Do I work at Target? You don't know.
Apparently it stopped working. What the hell?
Oh,
Apparently Skype, well, the window's frozen up. Like on OBS, but on...
Awesome. Oh, something popped back up. Doodles, what are you doing? See, there's the cat's tail right there. Boom. That's Doodles, and there she is. She's nuzzling my hand. I'm so glad our podcast didn't devolve into nonsense. that I literally had to turn on my camera and show people me petting my cat.
Probably get more viewers anyway.
This is true.
Okay, now it's working. See, we have Kitty. Go tell your friends we have Kitty.
Yeah, let me tilt this down a little more so you can see more of Doodles. Doodles is very exciting. That's right.
Everyone try and pet Kitty.
Get your hey Mac, how big an old boy are you? Jokes out of the way. There's Doodles. There's Doodles. I call her the
Doodles
hillbilly.
a boy or a girl?
Doodles is a girl. Doodles is short for Snickerdoodle.
I remember that.
And she was licking the cinnamon off of actual Snickerdoodles a little while ago. Oh, she's gnawing on my hand. There it is.
Eat it.
At least we're not talking about Trump.
Though, if you want to.
I guess I better take Jesse Cox's name off of the podcast for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm really sad about this because everybody did research and looked so excited about talking to our first guest in I don't know when.
About a month. A little more than that.
Yeah, but I mean, and then before that?
Our second guest in a long time.
Yeah. So, but that's okay. We got Doodles on the air to entertain everybody. Isn't that right, Doodles? Look at the camera. It's over there.
Run, Doodles. Save yourself.
It's there.
You're owned by a madman. Back away slowly and then go off into a sprint.
I call her the hillbilly cat because I got her in Alabama. Now, I don't know if you can tell just compared to her size relative to me, but this cat, from the tip of her nose to the end of her tail, is 4 feet long.
That's a big cat.
And she weighs 14 pounds, which is big even for a male of her breed. So, and then you see she's got a little white spot there. Because she's got a cream-filled center. Oh, people are sending me things. Damn right, Doodles. This will be our highest rated show ever, just so you know. I'm going to change the title to Cat Videos, ! 11!
Turns out Jesse Cox was just a cat the whole time.
Yep.
Well, now that everyone knows.
Oh, Persona 5 spoilers.
You could say the cat's out of the bag. Who knew that me petting my cat would be, that's the show, folks. That's the whole show. Let's see, I'm trying to think of any other news that I should be sharing about Starship Moonhawk or anything else. Nope, just petting the cat. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Ideas? Go ahead and talk about Trump. I don't care. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and pet my cat, and everybody watching will be like, "Man, I'm so angry at Trump right now, but I just love watching Mac pet his kitty."
Well, weren't we going to talk about what's the name? Mystery Science Theater at some point?
Oh yeah. So, babe, weren't you watching episodes of that, or trying to get at least one or two under your belt so you had something to?
I wrote it down, and that's as far as I got.
I've got a post-it note. Quickly
yeah.
to the Google project.
Yeah, that too. So tell me more about this Mystery Science thing.
Well, they have a theater, and it's 3,000.
Actually, it is actually called the Mystery Science Theater. 3,000 comes from the fact when they started up the show, everyone was adding the suffix 2000 to everything. So they decided to spoof that.
In the future. I'm getting cat bunting here.
Basically. Like, telling you about MST3k. Got a few hours?
How long is
10 seasons of all killer and very little filler.
Yeah, like 11 seasons now. Like,
well, the original.
Well, it's like 12 seasons if I'm being honest here, because there's season 0, which was the KTMA year. That's when they were on local affiliate. But they don't count it until like the Comedy Central years. But let's see. Well, the basic premise is a mad scientist has captured Midwestern everyman and shot him into space, the satellite of love, and he's got to watch shitty movies with robot puppets.
Of his own manufacture.
I guess really the ultimate thing about it, or the premise of it, is that this is like one of the things that started like commentary as a form of comedy. I know it existed before, but it made it like a big thing that is a thing that actually gets on TV and stuff.
It's certainly one of the big progenitors of modern internet comedy, especially like Channel Awesome and AVGN and all that. Watching over movie footage and making jokes about it. And clearly they had a winning formula, because even though it's like it lasted 10 years on 2 networks back in the 90s and was able to crawl up from the grave to get an 11th season, fully funded. Broke Kickstarter records, if I'm remembering correctly.
Which is kind of saying a lot, really.
Yeah.
Is this show still on?
It came back.
Yeah,
Because I'm
it was
looking
off.
it up.
It was off for a long time, but then
Right.
they recently, I forget if they kickstarted it or they just got funding for it for a new season with.
Kickstarted it.
For some of the same creative minds, but most of the actual acting roles are new.
Well, the original producer creator Joel came back.
Right.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
But in the in-between time, some of the other people who'd worked on it had done other projects like Cinematic Titanic, Riff Tracks.
The Mads. I'm like they're like there was the film crew. There's like 4 or 5 official spin-offs. So they've been keeping themselves busy, but it wasn't MST3k.
No, those didn't have the sketches really, or the meta plot, or anything really. It just stripped it down to the commentary comedy.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that since MST3k lasted a decade, there was a lot of talent turnover. In fact, by the end, everybody that was on the show was not original. Like, not even favorites like Kevin Murphy. He actually joined in season 2. I'm like, not even the first voice of Tom. That goes to Dr. Earnhardt, J. Michael Weinstein. Like, nobody
And I imagine
remembers
the robot props were recreated using pretty much the same designs at some points.
Probably, but like even Mike Nelson joined in season 2. So like even the early people weren't, they weren't part of the founding crew. Like, I think the only person who was left was Jim Mallon, and that was behind the scenes. He was the puppet operator for Gypsy until like mid season 8, and then someone else picked up and nobody noticed. Mainly because Gypsy had so little screen time.
Is this
Yeah,
a
of all-
Netflix? Netflix is like relaunching this, or
Yeah, sort of.
okay,
Netflix picked it up.
got it.
It was originally on, what was it, Comedy Central, and then it migrated to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Sci-fi,
Yeah.
yep.
Way back in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean,
Back when apparently Comedy Central was just Comedy Channel.
Yeah, yeah, technically speaking, it was the Okay, so back in, say, 1990, there were actually 2 comedy channels. There was the Comedy Channel, and then there was Ha. One was programmed by HBO, and the other by Showtime. And they decided to merge the network. And then we got Comedy Central, with MST3k being the headliner for both the Comedy Network and the early Comedy Central.
you may actually get to witness Doodles bite me on the air.
Eat him,
Not
kitty.
surprise me. Anyway, yeah. So Joel Hodgson plays like I said, he's a Midwestern everyman. And that's kind of important because there's a lot of Midwest infused in this show. Because everyone grew up in like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Great Lakes area. That's how you get jokes for Hamdingers in there.
Woo,
Jokes for what?
Woo.
Hamdingers. It is a
Somebody
Midwestern
explain that to me.
product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hamdingers
It is
like,
also an inherently funny word.
Yeah, Hamdingers was a brand of canned pork that existed in the Midwest in the 70s and 80s. There are a lot of jokes like this that nobody outside of the upper Midwest are going to get.
Got it. I've heard of spam. I've never heard of ham what?
Hamdingers. Hell, a lot of people didn't believe this was a thing, until an advertisement showed up on the internet. Like I said, that's local food products for you.
I grew up in Wisconsin. I mean, I live in Wisconsin, and I've never heard of this.
As I said, this is also a thing that existed in like the 70s. So
That might be why. I wasn't born back then.
Right. And I'm not old enough for that, to be honest with you.
yeah, I think they might have been in the 80s, but by the time MST3k was on the air, they were not a thing. Yeah,
Put that up on the screen.
put that
there.
on still screen.
Yeah, put that on the still screen. Get that
I-
image up on there. We gotta show this to the listeners.
Yeah.
See, this is the glory of YouTube. Okay, Doodles is leaving, so I'm gonna turn off my camera.
Okay,
now.
sorry. I was messaging with Jesse. What did I miss?
Oh, we have a guest?
No, his internet's still a mess. So what he said, he is good for July 5th.
Okay.
Okay, that's our next available show then.
Oh man, that's right after July 4th.
I
Okay.
hurt you all. I'm turning off the video now, so that way you can't see me looking
big
far and
nose.
away.
All
that
right.
was me. That was scratching. See, that's thumb scratch.
Yeah, see, Naka tries the same thing, and I call him out on that.
No,
What,
see,
when
this would be picking. This is scratching. I'm not afraid to Seinfeld this joint up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough of that.
Anyway, so you want to show the image?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that is huge.
Pop that
One moment.
beast up. There it is.
Yeah. Hamdingers.
An actual ad for Hamdingers.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in
Ew,
on that?
Hamdingers.
I will. Give me a minute.
Oh my god.
That's my other job on this show, looking things up on the internet and posting about them in the chat.
This is one of the things I'm actually enjoying about having our show on YouTube now, is that we can actually show the things that we're talking about.
I know the feeling. We show game footage on Fragments these days.
We're actually like a real goddamn podcast. Woo!
Bite your tongue.
What?
Real podcast. That's heresy.
Well,
How dare
Well,
you? Real podcasts have topics and guests.
So as you can see, this was basically Midwestern spam.
there it is.
8 fully cooked ham patties. This is amazing.
Hamburgers made with actual ham, apparently.
I saw the name, and it's Patrick Cudahy, and I'm like, I've heard this name before, and then I realized that Cudahy, Wisconsin, is where this was made, and that's literally 5 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh.
I'm a little embarrassed. It's okay.
You feel you missed some great cultural thing that you needed to experience now?
Well, to be fair, the offer thing on this said it was from about 1976.
Yeah. It's 1976 to some, not exactly sure when it ended, but yeah.
I'm sure that if we asked Brad to find it for his Brad Drive show, he could get from like Singapore or something an unopened can of Hamdingers.
And then it would immediately kill him.
Or just like actual Hamdingers that someone had in the back of their pantry.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm starting to
God.
feel bad for Brad because he's starting to become that kid on the playground that just eats anything for $5.
here.
Only we're
Here's a
not
box.
paying him.
Yeah,
Well, somebody's paying him.
Yeah. He's been paid for a long time for, eating that disgusting shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only person who does that. Ashton sometimes does that, although Ashton's is usually smart enough that when he's dealing with like 40-year-old food, he just like touches it to his tongue instead of actually trying to eat it.
Man, this beer with rust in it should be good.
He did that.
Let me check my chart here. I think I got
What?
my tetanus shot updated.
Wasn't that Billy beer?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Billy beer.
Did the Billy Bear. But the
We
thing-
were elected the wrong Carter.
The
Yeah.
face of a man who instantly regretted every life choice that brought him to that moment.
Actually, I think the thing that really got him was the Zima.
Oh, God. I've heard tales of Zima. I have no desire to even look for it.
You know, when Zima came out, I want to say in 1994, I think it was.
I was too.
When Zima came out, David Letterman used to make jokes about it all the time. Just go look up David Letterman's Zima on YouTube, and you'll see just videos of him like in dork clothing drinking Zima in a fake living room.
And then vomiting immediately afterwards?
He could not. He made Zima jokes for at least a decade.
Probably longer than Zima lasted.
I'm
Right.
guessing that was Zima was to him as Arby's was to Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart did have a
Zima was
love-hate
that to
relationship
everyone.
with Arby's,
Was
I will-
that to everyone in the 90s? Like,
or as Taco Bell is to John Oliver. Because every time
Like-
John Oliver mentions Taco Bell's, there's a diarrhea joke in there somewhere. Adam, I'm sorry.
Just FYI, the trademark for Hamdingers has expired. So if you feel the need to own it, you can.
Hold on, guys. I need to go make a file
just-
something.
Yeah. You got an extra $347 laying around because, man, I got a hankering.
Mac, I think we have a new business venture, my friend.
Can we use the original line, the tagline that they used here? A delicious new budget stretcher from Patrick Cudahy.
Yeah, Mac, I think we need to go file some paperwork.
I think we found a new show name right now.
Hamdingers.
This episode was worth it just for Hamdingers. Oh.
God, I'm tearing up. It's, whew, that was a good one.
And the things you think you'd never go in the direction with conversations.
Oh man.
Lies and
Man,
blasphemy.
Yeah. I wonder how this podcast will end. Well, we're talking about Hamdingers now. Hamdingers? What the Hamdinger?
There's literally no one on this podcast right now old enough to have actually sampled this delicacy.
Not even you?
No. I mean, it exists. Okay, there's a confluence of existence there, but I was in San Diego by 1979.
Well,
Yeah.
I've never been to Wisconsin, but also I wasn't alive in '76.
Yeah, my parents weren't even married yet.
Dude, that was 10 years before I was born, so...
Oh my God. You guys, I have to read this to you. I'm
Okay.
scrolling down on some comments about Hamdingers, and somebody said, I remember them clearly growing up in New Jersey. My dad made them for us. He'd put them on a hamburger bun with mayonnaise and pineapple. I am now a vegetarian.
What was that last part?
I am now a vegetarian.
Hamdingers.
Wow.
They make salad look good.
Maybe we should just end here.
I think this is a good place to end it. Also, we have a new t-shirt design coming up one day. As soon as we file some paperwork.
To Hamdingers. My God, just get me a salad.
A Wisconsin staple.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So, Mac, do you need my help filing paperwork when we get done?
I'm already on legal Zoom as we speak.
All right. So while Max composing himself, Petty Fan, who we got next week?
Allegedly.
Yeah, I was about to say, allegedly, we have,
If I don't stop cutting their internet cables. I mean,
we have Jake Williams of Bright Sun Films. He does the YouTube show called Abandoned, where he basically looks at various businesses that fell apart, like Blockbuster, Target Canada, like various big malls and stuff like that, and talks about, you know, what they were before they had financial issues.
I watched the one about the McBarge / Friendship 500
Yeah.
a little while ago, and that was interesting.
Yeah, and it like also talks about, you know, the collapse and then what's happened to the building now. It was kind of interesting stuff.
I was telling Sobe this was kind of like a Nat Geo type program where he explores decay.
Mhm.
So this actually sounds like, I gotta say, this actually sounds like a really interesting show. I need to go watch some episodes of it now that I've finally. Oh, I forgot to mention this during my news segment. I got a new mattress. Now arthritis and I are no longer strange bedfellows.
Don't lie.
So I can actually sleep now. So I can actually watch videos and not be like, this is great.
Sleep is for the weak, says the man with
And
the
for-
CPAP machine.
and for those that have sleep and repose casted on them. Son of a bitch.
Again, me and only me, you, and Twilight will get that.
I think barely even you will get that, 'cause I'm talking PvP up here.
Well,
Fucking
snide
black
commentary. Snide commentary aside, because that is our wont on this show. Whenever we get stood up by a guest, unfortunately, sometimes things
Well,
happen.
not intentionally.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes things happen. You know, your internet breaks, your house burns down. Thank you, Megan Gedris.
Yeah, I don't think much will top that one.
Yeah, that would be hard to top.
We're
Yeah,
like,
where-
man,
Where's our
what a-
damn
what a-
guest
what
at?
yeah,
My
where's
house
our damn
burnt down.
guest? Our house caught on fire. Oh.
I feel horrible now and no
Yeah.
longer want to live.
I don't think we made a joke about her house burning down, but we might have.
I don't know. Max got that weird
Like her being
sense.
No, we didn't.
About, like, it's
I
not
have
like her
more.
guts
I have
back.
more class than that, guys.
Lies
No,
and
we're talking
slander.
about-
I mean before we knew.
Yeah, beforehand. Like, we were just like, well, what's the problem? Her house burned down or something? Like,
Oh.
yeah. Oh. Oh, shit.
It's like, hey, look, somebody logged off. No.
Wait, who were you talking about?
Nothing. In,
Good job, Mac.
Anyway, we all hate Trump.
Please
Goodbye.
don't listen to this podcast.
All right, so I'm gonna get the
All right,
music
well,
set up if you
anyway,
want to close out there,
Yeah,
Mac.
Anyway, so we look for. And the point of all of that was that I was trying to get to the. We look forward to seeing Jesse Cox on July 5th because I actually, checked into his show and was entertained quite a bit by it. So
You
on
need to
behalf
watch
of the
some
crew,
Scary Game Squad. That shit is fucking hilarious.
So before I taste any more boot leather, on behalf of the crew at Moonhawk Studios Presents, this is Mac Paladin saying thanks for listening and stay safe out there, kids.
Also, we hate Trump.